What's up, everybody? It's Tyler from Dirt Road Country here. It is middle of September, and that means new music from this artist right here. She's got her second song out this year, and it's a fun one. Zoe joins me right now. Zoe, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a joy to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. It is a beautiful morning in New Jersey. I've heard it's the same in Nashville right now. Thank you for joining me. How's everything going with you and the new release?
Well, so far I'm very happy to say that it's going better now that the song is out. It started with a little controversy because of the title of the song. There was a few people I think that thought maybe I'd become some kind of Satanist because the song is called 666, which for anyone who's heard the song, it's actually he's a 6 foot, six pack, six figure rebel. And so it's kind of like it hints on the fact that he's trouble and he's like kind of that. But yeah, there was a little controversy around that getting going. And now that the song's out, it's actually been really well received. And so far, the feedback has been lovely. So I'm very grateful.
It's a fun song. It's a fun music video as well. Um, so for you,
Edited that myself, by the way, just fun fact.
I
So
know.
it's terrible. It's entirely my fault.
No, you did a great job on it. And like I was saying, it's your second song out this year. So having two songs out this year for people to listen to, and still a whole 4 months left of the year. What's the whole year like been for you putting new music out, and what are you most excited for going forward?
So this whole year for me has been just I've been in the studio writing like crazy and writing with some super incredible fun collaborators and I have a lot of fun stuff on the way. So I'm not gonna give times or dates. I would just say watch my socials because I'm gonna have some fun surprises dropping really, really soon. That's kind of it. And I'm really looking forward to getting um getting to finally share some of what I've been working on because it's not like anything else I've been doing in the past. So that's just about all I want to say on it. But yeah, very excited for what's coming.
Looking forward to that. And for those that don't know, if they haven't been able to tell by your accent already, you are from Australia. And there, I feel like there are so many Australian country artists up and coming right now and making the move to the States. What's the whole transition been like for you coming from Australia to Nashville? Because I know you said you've been coming for 10 years back and forth, but now you're here full time.
I am. I finally decided to make the plunge. You know what? It's been incredible. The transition has actually been very smooth, I would say, given the fact that as smooth as it can be, moving literally around the world. And this is the second time I've done it too. Prior to this, I'd already moved to the UK and was living there. I'd lived there for like 7, 8 years prior to moving to the States. So I'm making a habit of this, it seems. No, Nashville is home now, and I've always wanted to be here. It's been a dream of mine to be in Nashville, and to finally be here is just it's an honor. And everyone's been so welcoming since I got here. I just got to say how grateful I am for that because when you come to a new town, especially a town full of so much talent. I don't think you ever expect any doors to open or anyone to be like, hey, let's write a song or hey, let's do this. But I mean, Nashville has just been, and it's been that for me. And I'm very lucky and very grateful to call it home.
Well, now that you've been there for a couple years now, full time, what's the biggest pinch me moment you've had that you've been like, I'm here. This is it.
Um, I was like hanging out with Post Malone on Broadway like a week ago. We was having drinks. It was crazy. He's like, I've never met a Tasmanian before. Like, tell me about that. And so we're just sitting having drinks and hanging out. And I think that's one of the incredible things about Nashville is that out of nowhere, you can just become friends with your absolute idols and heroes. And it's happened so many times, like with songwriters as well, because I've got so many hero songwriters that I've wanted to like maybe one day work with, and I've been able to do that, and it's kind of it's a very a pinch me moment, and it's always humbling, and I'm very grateful whenever anything like that happens, because you know how else does that sort of stuff? It's just crazy. It's crazy, and I'm grateful.
It sounds pretty damn cool to me.
He is the nicest guy ever, by the way, Post. I have never met anyone so kind in the world. He is just lovely.
Love to hear that. Now, a question that I have for you is one that stretches the boundaries of more than the US, I feel like, because a lot of people don't realize country music comes from everywhere. It's not just in the southern US states. You can find it in New York, you can find it in Washington, you can find it in Canada, you can find it in the UK, and you can find it in Australia. How did
Yeah.
you actually get into the genre, and what motivated you to become a country artist?
I think it started from me. Australia definitely has a really strong country presence, and I think it's very unheard of in the sense that um, there's so many artists that just aren't talked about over here because I think Australia is just so far away, and so trying to like get your music heard across the other side of the world is tough. But there's like Slim Dusty was a huge influence, and Casey Chambers and Lee Kernaghan and Keith Urban and all of these different artists, Sarah Storer, so many different artists in Australia in the country scene. Definitely had an influence. But I grew up really isolated down in Tasmania, and so we didn't have TV, we didn't have internet, we had radio, and my parents had this like 20-foot long shipping container of records that they'd collected over the course of their relationship. And so I would go and listen to that. There was so much stuff from rock to pop to country to indie to, there was everything in there. And so I'd go and pull out a Mel Haggard record, or I'd go and pull out a Loretta Lynn record, or an Eminem record, or an AC/DC record. And, the variety of sound was just fantastic. So I think my musical DNA really came from that. And then getting to hear, the top 40 on radio as well all the time. And so that kind of brewed this whole thing that I am now, where I will put on a Hank Williams record and then put on a Nickelback record, or it's just, yeah, it's crazy, but that's kind of where it started for me.
All right, now going off of that, if you could name your top three favorite records that your parents had in your house growing up,
Oh
would you name
no.
those?
No, that's such a tough question. Oh my gosh. Damn, there's so many. I'm gonna have to probably start with Atlantic Crossing by Rod Stewart because I love Rod Stewart. Um, you can't really not talk about Neil Young Harvest because that is just iconic. Um, man, there's so many. This is such a tough question. The third, I mean, it's probably goodness. It's probably something from maybe Paul Simon. Or you know what? No, it's probably Springsteen, Born in the USA. I feel like that's probably a solid. There's so many. That is such a tough question. Oh man. I'm sorry because there's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
it's hard to narrow down to a top three, even a top 10.
No kidding. There's so much great music, especially like in that time as well, where, I listened to a lot of that stuff from that era from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And it's like, yeah, it's such a breadth and so much good. Ah, that's tough. That's tough. I'll go with that for now. I'll probably think of things
Hey,
later.
all of those are good answers. So that's good music taste right there. And folks, if you have good music taste, you'll go listen to Zoe's new music. 666 is out now, and also Jackie came out earlier this year. If you don't follow Zoe on Instagram, TikTok, and the rest of her socials, go do it right now. Zoe, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a joy. You're awesome.
Absolutely. See you guys next time.